American royalty, Alec Baldwin and Hilaria, or is that Spanish royalty? Unclear. I don't know. When everybody was looking elsewhere, they decided to launch a reality show of their own, which is just so weird, given the fact that like the biggest thing he's been in the news for has been killing a woman. It seems like kind of odd timing. But here's just a little taste of the show. She was asked about her fake accents, which is a good thing to be asked about. And here's what she said, SOT 17.
I want to teach my kids pride in speaking more than one language. I think just growing up and speaking 2 languages is extremely special. I love English. I also love Spanish. And when I mix the two, it doesn't make me inauthentic. When I mix the two, that makes me normal. We are a mix of all these different things, and that's going to have an impact on how we sound and an impact on how we articulate things and the words that we choose and our mannerisms. That's normal.
Okay, no one ever gave her a hard time for mixing the two. People who are truly fluent in 2 languages sometimes will mix a word in here.
Right.
It's pretending that you forgot your English words that we've given, like this infamous video. It's just 6 seconds, SOT 20.
We have very few ingredients. We have tomatoes. We have, how do you say it in English? Cucumbers.
How do you say in English? Oh, cucumber.
She
Hillary
told us she was from Spain. Alec Baldwin used to go on like Letterman, Kimmel all the time and be like, my wife is from Spain.
That's right.
Like this conferred some sort of specialness on them.
And he would imitate her with a Spanish accent.
With a Spanish accent. So I want to know, like if I'm producing this show and I'm giving Alec Baldwin income that he so badly needs because he's uninsurable at this point.
Yeah,
he cannot get a job. I want the answers. I want to know, Alec, when did you learn that your wife was really a white woman from Boston? Was it with the rest of us?
Very privileged Tony school.
Right. Was it with the rest of us when we learned it? Because there's a moment in episode 1 or maybe 2 where they're doing a confessional on the couch and Hillary's always barefoot. It's very creepy. I don't want to see her bare feet, but I guess she thinks it makes her relatable. She's talking and she starts talking at a fast clip and she's rolling her R's and doing that stuff. And he doesn't even look at her. He looks in her direction. And he says to her, "You are speaking English in a Spanish cadence, and I need you to slow it down because that is always very perilous for me." There's so much in that statement,
right?
That is just like, holy crap. All the kids have Spanish names.
Yep.
Alec Baldwin seems like, it's definitely like a filet-o-deux, but he just seems like he's trapped. Like the eye bags are like down to here. Like they're down to here. He's telling a story about in his 20s, he was like rooming with some friend who had a cat. He had this extremely allergic reaction to the cat, wound up in the emergency room. He told this to Hilaria. The next day she comes home with 4 cats.
What?
4 cats, Megyn. And he's telling the story and the reaction shot, which is a close-up of her, she's like smirking and looking in the camera.
Whoa.
There's a very dark, twisted dynamic going on.
Right.
And aside from the children, they have 7 children. They have 8 pets.
Oh my God.
So they're living in a duplex in Manhattan, 5 bedrooms, 7 children, 4 cats, 4 dogs, at least 2 nannies, and the 2 of them, that's 19 people. That is a 5-star hotel for migrants in New York, right?
Yes. Totally. Look, she's a very odd person. I don't know of another person who pretends they're from another country. That's a strange thing to do.
It really is.
And she's done it repeatedly. I don't, if this is how the series is going to be, where she gets away with not actually addressing the thing, it's going to fail, right? The only way these things work is if you actually press somebody on the controversy and then they say the truth and you have some fun at their expense. That's why the Real Housewives actually work, because
100%.
They're not spared anything.
And there's real stakes.
Yeah. So here, just because we're on the subject and I love it, here she is in January 2023. It is more than mixing English and Spanish. She is all American. Again, she's from a very nice suburb of Boston and went to a Tony private school there and is not in any way from Spain. Okay, she grew up speaking English. Here she is in SOT 21.
I want you guys to realize that we have 7 kids. And you being here to escort them to school and to be there when they come home is not good
So on a human level, you guys know I'm not going to say anything to you. You know that.
You know.
So please, leave my family in peace and let this all play out. Okay? So let my kids come home and you stay away from them. Because they asked me, Mommy, what are these people doing? And it's a very hard thing as a mom to try to explain. So please, go home. Because I'm not going to say anything and Alec is not going to say anything.
It's ridiculous.
You know, she lives for those roadside pressers.
Yeah.
Do you remember right after the shooting and they were like holed up in Vermont and there was this
That was
press pack?
problematic.
And Alec and Hillary got out of the car and Alec had his iPhone like this. He was surreptitiously recording all the media.
Mm-hmm.
And Hillary got herself into like high dudgeon and she was like castigating this media. Like, let's be real. She married Alec Baldwin because of the fame and the money.
Of course.
She can't be famous on her own. She has nothing to offer, much like Meghan Markle, right?
Yeah.
It's very like dual track.
Yep.
She starts jutting her jaw out and self-righteously yelling at them, going, say her name. Her name is Helena. Say her name. Say her. I'm sorry. Your husband's the one who shot this poor woman. So
Right.
shut up.
It's not our fault.
And he turns to her and he says, would you just stop it? Like, I'm going to talk to them. This is my press conference.
Right,
okay,
right.
lady?
This is my moment.
Get out of the frame.
She, of course, is I mean, she would come on the Today Show all the time trying to promote whatever. Like, there you saw her doing her cooking. She's just like Meghan Markle, trying to build like a lifestyle brand. What's that, Deb? Debbie, Canadian Debbie's recommending something. Let's watch it. It's at 15.
It was a very traumatic thing for everybody that was in that room. I found these text messages the other day between us, you know, the day after, and he said he wanted to kill himself. He'll never be the same. This has affected his health and his mental health tremendously. The past few years, all of a sudden, he, you know, has started having heart problems. He's been hospitalized multiple times, and he's fainted, and everybody's just screaming, and I'm going on top and I'm shaking him.
So Alec has been stressed out by the Helena Hutchins situation. That's what she wants us to know. So do we believe that it's the stress around that? I mean, I'm sure he was because he was facing criminal charges, which is stressful. Mm-hmm. But, you know, when you saw him like in his public interviews, he was very defiant. You know, he wasn't like, please forgive me. My God, this is so odd. He was defiant and angry. So this must be a rehabilitation show, right? Like where they're trying to soften
100%.
us on him.
Yeah, I think it's 100% a rehabilitation show. By the way, using their minor children who have really no say in making their lives, their very emotionally chaotic lives, public. The little that we are seeing of their elder daughter, Carmen, who Alec helpfully tells us is his do-over for Ireland.
Oh my God.
And yelling at her in that infamous
Thoughtless
voicemail.
little pig.
She was 11. She missed his phone call. She was a rude, thoughtless little pig. But Carmen's his do-over. So this is all very emotionally healthy. I will never forget the interview he gave to George Stephanopoulos.
Yep.
And he sat there.
No. I never pulled the trigger. No.
Which, by the way, the FBI and every ballistics expert will tell you, like, that gun does not get fired without pulling the trigger. Oh, by the way, in this show, the other thing that they pathologize that Hilarious his mouthpiece. She tells us he has severe OCD. You're telling me this guy has severe OCD and he didn't open that fucking gun?
That's
I don't buy it. Like, I had real OCD when I was a kid. Like, I know what that's like. And it's out of your control. And it's often very much a response of trying to make like an emotionally chaotic situation. Like maybe your parents are out of control emotionally, as mine often were. It's a magical kind of thinking way of trying to make sure everything is okay.
You have order.
Right? You have order and you have some sort of control. And if you really have that level of OCD, you are double checking everything, not just the lid of a garbage can,
but like a firearm,
but a gun with other people in close proximity. And he goes on George Stephanopoulos and then says to, by the way, his friend from the Hamptons, never disclosed, then says to him, you know what? She's the one who told me to point the trigger at her. She's the one who, the gun.
The gun, yeah.
She said, point this right at her, like, you know, what was I to do? That's what she told me. So I did it. Like, actors don't run their own sets. Like, they're not rage egomaniacs.
And he was an EP on the whole production as well.
a production, by the way, that had seen its entire crew walk off the set over safety concerns that had been lodged multiple times. So he is so full of it.
You don't go out and buy a life jacket when the boat is sinking, and you don't buy gold when the economy has already collapsed. Clearly, others are heeding this advice as gold hit all-time highs already this year. It's not too late for you, too, and you could have Birch Gold help you diversify into physical gold. Birch Gold specializes in helping you convert an existing IRA or 401k in whole or in part into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, and for no money out of pocket. One recent 5-star review said Birch Gold was, quote, knowledgeable, helpful, non-pressure. Get your free info kit on gold by texting the letters MK to the number 989898. There is no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and countless 5-star reviews, text MK to 989898 and let the experts at Birch Gold help you secure your future today with gold. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.